Good morning. Thank you. I have two challenges. The first challenge is to present a vast topic like this in 10 minutes. But I promise you, I will deliver this in 10 minutes because I have a buzzer on my wrist, so it will keep buzzing me every minute. My second challenge is that when two companies like this present, Microsoft and Salesforce.com, where both are competitors, and I don't know what the competitor was presenting before me, I need to change my presentation on the fly. So you would need to excuse me because I will need to do some innovation. I'm very tempted that as they presented Urban Ladder, I want to present Paperfry.com because they use Microsoft CRM. Okay, but let me start. This is a cliche slide. And the reason I'm starting with this slide is because in this entire jigsaw puzzle of retail, the most important entity is the customer. So let me start from the customer first. The reason I call this a cliche slide is because everybody has been talking about this for a decade and a half. For the last 15 years, we all have heard these terms. The customer is the king. The customer is the most important piece of our journey and business. Every customer is different. One size does not fit all, right? Every boardroom, every strategy meeting, every leader has spoken about it. But a very few of them had traversed the journey. The journey has still been very, very transactional and very, very operational. But something has changed today. That something is the stuff which you see on the right-hand side. I call it the disruptive world. You know, it's quite like the Newton's law of inertia. A thing will continue to be in motion till the time there is something, a force which is acting against it. And trust me, all these beautiful terms of customer being the king would have continued to be buried in goodwill statements till the time this disruption took place. There are many of those disruptions out there, but the three disruptions which are biggest are the online e-commerce world, the mobility and the mobile world, and the social world. Now let me tell you why has this changed everything. The reason why it has changed everything is because today it has given customer choices. Today, for the first time, organizations are scared of the customer. More importantly, think of the challenge today. Today, it's very difficult to pinpoint who is the only customer or the only entity you are trying to influence. Why? Because a person sitting in Yugoslavia can put a post, can put a share, can put a like, and put something out there which can influence a person sitting out of Cochin and buying a digital camera. Correct? So which is the guy you're trying to influence? It's very important at this point of time that every retailer tries to understand this. It's not only about the person who is buying, but it's about the entire community which is influencing him. And this is reality. So let me give you an example. My son just did his 10th birthday, so he asked me for a bike. And I thought I will take him to the shops which have got lots of bikes. We will try out different bikes, and whichever the one he likes, he will buy. That's the way I bought a bike. Okay, this is a bicycle. But he was precise. He told me, I want a Firefox, I want this color, I want this specification, this many number of gears, and you will get it here. He's 10 years old. And I, of course, asked him reasons why. He didn't give me very logical reasons. But what I could understand is that he had been influenced by a set of people whom I had no influence on, right? And that is reality today. That is the disruption which is happening today. Now, because of this disrupted world, there is a clear divide, okay? There are two kinds of retail. You can still hear me? No? Okay. There are two kinds of retail today. One is what I call is the traditional retail, where most of us, or I think let's say some of us go to shop. Definitely our parents go to shop. And for some of us who still have the luxury of having grandparents, they definitely go to shop out there. Okay? That's the place where we say that you still do things like market basket analysis, you do footfalls. You know, you play this beautiful game which is called treasure hunt, where you go and look at different clothes and different stuff, and you see which one you like, and then you go into a physical store, a physical change room and you wear it, you look yourself at the mirror. If you like, you go into a queue and you buy it. Correct? And then there is this different world. This is this world where none of this exists. A person goes out there on a mobile phone or online, does a search, does comparisons, knows exactly which product is better than the other, reaches out to people, faces, virtual faces, which are only email IDs or a Twitter handle or a Skype handle or something like that, to take feedback, and then decides to buy based on a promotion which is on, based on inventory which is available, and based on delivery times, and has cashback guarantees. Correct? Two completely different worlds which exist today. But the important thing is the customer is the same. And the challenge today is to join these two worlds together, what we called as the digital transformation. Okay? What we are saying as is the digital retail of today. The two worlds will still exist in some form or the other, but there needs to be a unification. If I can explain this to you, I will explain this to you in the form of a rainbow. If you look at a rainbow, there are 7 different colors, Vibgyor. But when you combine them together, they produce white light. These colors will still continue to be different. Different frequencies, different tangents, different wavelengths. But putting them together produces white light, which is what the digital world is about. And let me try and explain to you why is it so. Think of yourself as the customer. You want to buy a product X. Okay? You go to the online shopping store, go to any one of them, and you get all these things that I spoke about. You can look at the product, you can do product differentiation, you can get the features and functions of different products in the same category. It will also give you a comparison. Then you try and understand who all have bought it. You go and look at their likes, you go and look at what have they talked about in the product. You look at promotions, you look at who is giving you the best promotion. You look at turnaround times, and you online order it. Now think of yourself as the same customer wanting to buy the same product and have gone into a physical store. Okay? You would expect that same experience. In fact, you would expect a better experience because you have a physical person and you have a human face-to-face interface with the person. But you get none of this. Now that's where this world is divided, and we got to unify this today. Okay? In 10 minutes, I can only talk of concepts. Later, when you catch up with us, we can tell you about how to bring these concepts into a reality. So to empower this digital retail, there are 3 pillars that I wanted to talk about. The first pillar is about the customer, the most important entity. The second pillar is about having this modern store. And the third pillar is about empowering the workforce. And let me talk about just a minute before I conclude in each one of them. The pillar of the customer, I think the gentleman before me has spoken a lot about it, so I won't talk much about this. But all I would like to talk about in this is, this has to move away from just loyalty. This has to move away from just burn and earn, because everybody can do it. It needs to move away from a system of record to a system of engagement. It's all about how do you engage with the customer. You would remember that salesperson or that shop or that particular sales experience where the person engaged with you better. And that is important. How you engage, what tools do you need is a different ballgame. But that engagement is important from a customer perspective. And there's a lot which goes behind it. Something which I want to really talk about is what's the modern store. This unification is impossible to achieve till the time you get in a modern digital store. Okay? And the reason for this is the two worlds will continue to exist if we put the online world as a bolt-on on top of the existing store operations. Because what's happening is you're just creating a paraphernalia or something which is existing which runs on a different mechanism. But the thought process needs to look at both of them as one and think of the customer as one. And that will change the behavior. When your thinking changes, the behavior changes. When the behavior changes, the action changes. When the action changes, the implementation of systems, tools, and processes change. And that's what's the call of the hour today. Okay? In the modern store, your you got to have endless aisles, which means that you will have kiosks where people will interact and have the same experience they can get on the browser. Come back to my experience where I said the same customer trying to buy the same product has a different experience on the browser, a different experience on the mobile, and a different experience in the store. That can be eliminated when you have a modern store, correct? The end aisle displays also enables a person to understand what all can the shop offer, irrespective of whether that clothes are hanging out there or not. Okay? Then it changes into virtual changing rooms. It's extremely important because changing rooms, physical changing rooms, are today taking up space. One of the most difficult things in the retail business today is real estate money, because that is continuing to increase, and that will continue to hit into your profitability. So if you can use that and change that into virtual changing rooms, even the better. Then you have the entire social engagement which is there in the store. And most important, you don't have to go to a billing counter because the bill can happen exactly where you are standing. And that can happen when you come to the third pillar, which is empowering the workforce. What does this mean? Think of this. You go to a shop, you have a person who is following you, correct? Compared to the online experience, you expect this person to give you all that information which you got online. Who are the people who have bought it? If a person has bought X, what else have they bought? What is their experience? Can you show that to me in the form of data? Okay? What is the availability? Which is the best promotion which is on? Now, for the person who is at the store, to be able to give you this piece of information, the person has to be empowered. The person has to have tools and devices and equipment to be able to do that. And that's why we call this agent not a sales representative, but a commerce representative today. Because a person can have all of this on the mobile phone or on a tablet, which we call as the modern POS. This combines everything together. It combines internal collaborations, emails. It combines collaborating internally with Skypes or LinkedIn or Yammers. It combines things like Excel sheets and data, which you need to take a decision there and then, because that's where you're interfacing with the customer. It has the POS built in from where you can do a billing. It's got loyalty built in, and it's got all those aspects of CRM which we had talked about before. And that is what will try and kill this digital divide and unify what we call as the digital world and the in-store shopping experience. And that's important. We at Microsoft are on this journey because we have the store operations, we have the ERP, we have the modern POS, and we have the CRM system. And we have all the social engagements. So we, in this journey in India, are trying to convert 47 customers across 67 retail brands, 12,000 stores, and 26,000 users as we speak across the countries. And these are all the kinds of brands which we are serving in some form or the other. Some of them are in supermarkets, some of them are into brands like Aditya Birla Retail. We recently signed up with VLCC, and we have got many of these. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. It's, as I said, I had to change my presentation on the fly so that you don't see a repeat of what was presented before me. But I hope it gives you an idea of how do you combine both these worlds together to form a modern digital retail experience and give the same experience, whether it's online or in-store, to the end customer. Thank you.